Bless up, everybody. Welcome to, Shanti Does What She Wants. And today we're diving into something that's very much something I need a lot of us to hear, especially if you're like a Capricorn moon. You need to hear this, okay? I guess you can say this for Capricorn risings too and Capricorn suns, or if you have like even a heavy Saturn energy in your chart, you can also use this, okay? So this message isn't just astrology, it's about survival, emotional healing, and stepping into your legacy, okay? Capricorns are some of the strongest people out there, okay? You build, you climb, you carry weights that others couldn't even handle. But here's the thing. The one thing that trips Capricorns up: your relationships with your emotions. Capricorns, you need to figure out how to deal with your emotions. You need to figure out how to deal with your emotions. I'm gonna say it again. You need to figure out how to deal with your emotions. Okay, so today I'm gonna break it all the way down, and we're gonna just talk about it, right? We're gonna talk about why Capricorns struggle emotionally, what emotional mastery really looks like for Capricorns, and how unprocessed feelings sabotage your goals, okay? And most importantly, how to work with your emotions instead of fighting them, because you don't want to deal with that, right? All right, so let's get into it. So let's talk about where it all starts. We're going to start there, right? So Capricorn energy is ruled by Saturn, the planet of restriction, structure, and lessons. It's very heavy, it's very dense here, okay? So if you're born under that influence, life probably didn't feel soft. You grew up early, you had to mature fast, maybe you had to be the parent in your household. Maybe you didn't get to be a child at all, right? So what happens? This is what happens. You learn to be responsible. That's all it is. You learn to be responsible, but you also learn to ignore your needs. You learn to put others first and not yourself, right? So you learn that emotions get in the way. You learn that crying doesn't solve problems. You learn that softness feels even dangerous. You even learn that. So you just kind of bury everything emotionally. You bury everything. And that's how the Capricorn tends to mask. That's how the Capricorn tends to mask different forms, right? So the Capricorn tends to be very silent, very strong, very much in control. They might have different compartments mentally, you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, well, is this person even feeling anything emotionally? Is this person even here with us? How are you so strong? How are you so able to handle these things? But this is the thing. Inside the Capricorn, there's pain. There's a tired soul. There is a tired soul. Just a moment of silence for that. There's a part of you begging to be held, but you don't know how to beg for help. You don't know how to beg for help, for a hug. So before I continue, if this sounds like you, right? If this sounds like you, let's just have a moment of reflection. Think about the times when, you needed someone and they weren't there for you, and you wanted them to be there for you, but you didn't know how to tell them that, I want you to be there for me. You didn't know how to do that. Think about the times when you needed to be strong, right? And you didn't know if it was safe to be strong. If this is you, continue. Just please continue listening to this video. So here's the cost. This is the cost if you tend to suppress or ignore your emotions, okay? I'm going to get honest with you, because these emotions don't disappear. They don't just go anywhere. They just get smarter. They show up in other ways, right? So you overwork yourself to the point of exhaustion. This is how it shows up. You overwork yourself to the point of exhaustion. You push people away before they get too close, right? You feel guilty resting. You stay in relationships that drain you because you're loyal to struggle. Okay, let me say that again. You are loyal to struggle. You block blessings because deep down, you don't feel worthy. You probably suffer from low self-esteem too. Probably do. That's the emotional shadow of Capricorn. It's not just ambitions. It's perfectionism. It's not just strength. It's avoidance. It's not just loyalty. It's self-neglect. I just want you guys to let that sink in. Just let that sink in. Capricorn, you're not weak, okay? Capricorns are not weak. You're exhausted. That's what's going on here. You're exhausted, and emotionally, you're just looking for a way out. So in order to do that, you need to master your emotions, right? So what is emotional mastery, you might ask? Now, let me tell you what emotional mastery really is. It's not being dramatic. It's not oversharing. It's not sitting in your feelings forever. Emotional mastery means you can recognize your feelings, okay, without judging them, okay? You can identify where your emotions are coming from, right? You can choose how you respond to your emotions. Okay, so instead of reacting out of fear, choose how you want to react. Does that make sense? You feel sadness and still lead. You feel anger and you still be grounded. You feel love without losing yourself. All right, this is spiritual power. This is alignment. And Capricorn, when you do this, you become the best version of yourself. Okay, you become the best version of yourself, because now you're no longer ruled by your past. You're not. Ain't nobody got time for that. You're creating from the present, right? So I just want you to think about that. No, this is how you start to heal. Yes, Capricorns might ask, okay, that's great. How do I heal? How do I work from this? So this is what you do. All right, here's where you start. Journaling without structure. Capricorns, you got to start journaling. Capricorns love order. That's why I'm saying journal without structure. Capricorns love order, but healing is very messy, and let it be. Just let the writing be. Write what you feel. Plan, just release. Okay? Number 2, I need you guys to do body check-ins. Ask yourself daily, where do I feel tension? What emotions are, living within the tension? You can also say that. 3, you can name your triggers. If you get irritable, if you get numb, if you get cold, or you shut down, don't run from it. Ask, what's really going on with me? What is my problem? Am I good? Like, what's going on? Number 4, safe expression. Cry, Capricorn moons. Dance, Capricorns. Moon, sun, whatever you are. Cry, dance, scream into a pillow. Talk to your younger self. That is the most healing thing you can do. Talk to your younger self. Stop bottling it up like it'll make you strong, okay? That only creates sickness. You don't want that. You don't want sickness. 5, you can even do rituals if you're into that type of thing. If you're that type of person, you do some rituals. You light a candle, you speak your pain into water, and you pour it away. You use your tools, use your altar, your connection. Do stuff like that. Capricorn, let your feelings come home. You don't have to be the wall anymore, okay? You get to be the ocean. Okay, so yeah. Now, when a Capricorn learns to feel, right? Because now we're going to talk about, how to activate this stuff, reclaim your inner power, your real power. So when a Capricorn learns to feel, not just survive, you become unstoppable. Because now your power is rooted. You don't second guess, you don't overgive, you don't chase, you lead from the soul. Okay, so today, Capricorns, I invite you, don't just climb the mountain, okay? Be the mountain, and let your emotions be the river that flows through you. Allow your emotions to flow through you, because Capricorn, your legacy isn't, built from pain. It's built from healing, okay? So I'm just going to give you guys some affirmations to write down, and whenever you're feeling a certain way, you just say them. Okay, these aren't some like special affirmations, just affirmations. Like, I hate when people try to make spirituality more complicated than it really is. It's not. Keep it simple. Okay, KISS. Okay, so here are some affirmations that you're going to use whenever you feel these negative emotions come up, or you're struggling with your emotions. You're going to say, I trust my emotions. Okay, That's one thing you're going to say. The second thing you're going to say is, I lead with both wisdom and heart. You're going to say that as well. Another thing you're going to say is, I no longer suppress. I understand. I feel. I release. This is what you're also going to say. You're also going to say, my emotions are my allies, not my enemies. Okay? So, yeah. I just want you guys to know that. So Capricorn moons, I keep saying Capricorn moons. I forgive you. Forgive me. I am a Capricorn moon. So that's why I keep saying that. But all Capricorns, big up on yourself. If this message hit you in the chest, don't ignore it. Please comment down below. Let me know your biggest realization from today. And if you're ready to keep healing through, astrology, emotion, and power, subscribe. It's just the beginning, okay? And remember, I no longer outshine, I align. Remember that. You no longer outshine, you align. So Capricorns, you done know. And thanks for watching. Peace.